Welcome to the U.S. Kiss Vinyl Reference YouTube channel. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Alright folks, welcome back to another episode of the U.S. Kiss Vinyl Reference. I am Mike Stone, your host, as always. So today we are continuing where we left off last week with the Promotional 45's. And really, we might be able to just finish them all off today. So I had them grouped up into three, but that third stack isn't very big, so I might just run through the whole rest of the catalog on these and call it a day. So get yourself all ready to go, and I'll be back here in a second. Alright folks, welcome back. So as I said, we're going to pick up where we left off with the Promotional 45's. And if you remember from last week, we left off at the double platinum single, Strutter 78. So we'll take off from the solo albums. Excuse me. So, as I'm recording this, I mean, it's the same day as I recorded the last episode you saw, so obviously no new Kiss news has come up in the last 45 minutes, so it is what it is. So, without further ado, the solo albums. So each member had an album, each member had a single. Actually, Peter had two singles. Each single had a promotional copy. So I forgot where I was going with that, but anyway, we're going to start off with Paul's solo 45, Filmworks inner sleeve, and it's on a Filmworks label. So there you can see a promotional copy, not for sale, up on the upper right. So there's your mono side and your stereo side. And in my opinion, they could have used any other song off of Paul's solo album as a single. To me, Hold Me, Touch Me is the absolute weakest on there, and I'm not sure why they did that. So, anyway, moving on to Ace. Again, Filmworks sleeve. The U.S. got robbed when it came to picture sleeves for such a visual band. So, for New York Groove here, again, you see the promotional copy text up in the upper right. There's your mono side and your stereo side. And those two I haven't found any variations that I'm aware of with the promo copy. So with that, I keep searching. So all right, next up is Gene's Radioactive 45. So again, with a mono stereo, there's the promotional text up in the upper right hand side, and there's the stereo side. And we do have a variation with jeans 45. As soon as I get this one back in. So there's the mono side of the variation, and the promotional text is up at the top. And here is the stereo side. And now, while I'm putting this up, I am going to put the two variations side by side. And I want you to pay attention to the promotional text between the two of them. So you'll see that the font that they used for that promotional text is different from one another. And there may be a slight sizing difference on, like, the Gene Simmons on the left. So, you know, just little nitpicky stuff, but variation is variation. So, alright, next up we get to Peter's first 45, which was Don't You Let Me Down. And you can see that promotional text up on the right hand side. There's your mono side and your stereo side. And oddly enough, I'm not sure of the exact reason why. My guess is because it was probably the lowest selling 45. They decided to give Peter a second single. And that second single was You Matter to Me. Yet on the 45, it is listed as You Still Matter to Me. So there's that promotional text up in the upper right. And then here's your stereo side. And then there is a variation of Peter's Promo 45. So again, just like the Gene, there's your mono side and your stereo side. Alright, just like the Gene 45, I put both of them up side by side. Again, the difference is in that promotional text. I would assume that the other two have that variation, but I have not seen that variation for either one, either Paul or Ace. So far, I've only seen the one promo 45 for both of them. So, all right. So that gets us through the solo albums. And now we move on to Dynasty. And we have a couple of promos for I Was Made for Loving You. And we have a new-ish style of label coming here. So first things first, holding the label up. You'll notice it is a Filmworks label still. But if you veer off to the left-hand side of the label, you'll see a number 25 underneath where it says Side A. So that's a pressing plant number. And those started getting added on to the labels in the Kiss world around 1979. So with I Was Made for Loving You, you can see it's got that number 25 over there. And the promotional stuff up in the upper left. There's your mono. And there's your stereo. So there's going to be several instances where the variation is that pressing plant number. And I mean, there might be something else that's slightly different on the label, but the pressing plant number is the easiest to identify as a variation. So with our next promo copy of I Was Made for Loving You, you see it's still got the promotional text up above, and over to the left underneath side A, it's got a number 56 instead of a 25. So there's your variation. And those two pressing plants are going to get shown a lot with promo copies here shortly. So the next promo is Sure Know Something. And there's your number 25 over on the left hand side there. And your stereo side. Next variation of Sure Know Something. If you look to the left under side A, it's got a number 56. And there's your stereo side. And then next up we get to the unmasked period, and the first promo from Unmasked is Shandy. So there's your Filmworks label, there's a promotional text up above, and to the left underneath side A it says number 25. And there's your stereo side. And then we have a variation of Shandy. So just like the last I showed, it's got the same kind of label. The only difference is over to the left underneath side A, it's got a number 56. So there's that. And then there's the stereo side. Then we come up to my absolute favorite song in the Kiss catalog, Tomorrow. So, same as the previous couple of singles. You look over to the left hand side underneath side A, you got a number 25, and there's your mono side, or stereo side, I'm sorry. I'm putting them both up side by side, so I guess it doesn't really matter if I flip the 45 over for the camera, but habit. And then we have a variation of Tomorrow. And if you look over to the left, you see a number 56. And there's your stereo side. All right. So now we're going to the Elder, and my allergies are killing me today. Anyway, so the format has changed now with Promotional 45's. We were having a mono stereo 45, and now the format has changed. We're going to have the same exact song on both sides, or both stereo mixes. And my theory on that is, you know, these things are given out for free, but they do cost money to make. So record company presses the same song on both sides, sends it out to the radio station. Hopefully the radio station plays the absolute hell out of it and wears it out. When they do that, all they got to do is flip it over and play the other side. So, by theory, the radio station would get twice as much play out of a 45 and wouldn't have to ask for another one. So, that's kind of my theory on it. So, anyway, music from the Elder. So, we got one single in the U.S. from music from the Elder, and that was World Without Heroes. So, with that, now you have to look completely above the spindle hole in that film crew image. You'll see it says promotion copy not for sale. And then off to the left hand side, you got a number 19. So, that's your promotional copy for A World Without Heroes. And since there's only one side, I don't have to flip it. Well, I mean, it's got two sides, but it's the same on both. So, exact same label, exact same song, exact same mix. Yeah. All right, but there is a variation for A World Without Heroes. Now, if you look to the left-hand side, it says promotional copy not for sale. And then at the bottom of that column of text, you see a number 26. So there's your little bit of, there's a couple of different variations from the first one that I showed you. So, but the easiest thing for me to identify as a variation is just the plant number if it's different. So, all right, and then next up we have I Love It Loud, and like Flaming Youth, mine has a Filmworks sleeve, and in the last episode I explained what turned my opinion around on whether I believe that Promo 45's got the picture sleeve, which I do now. So, but anyway, I'm gonna hope that I'm not like super low in the mix. But anyway, so with I Love It Loud, on the left-hand side, it says promotional copy not for sale, and then you'll notice it says short version. The time is 3 minutes and 27 seconds, and then there's a number 26 at the bottom of that. If you flip it over, it says promotional copy not for sale, long version, 4 minutes and 12 seconds, and a number 26. So that's a two-sided 45. So yeah, I do need to hunt me down a couple of picture sleeves now, so it's just me being stubborn, I guess. I couldn't accept the fact that they could have came with picture sleeves. Alright, now we enter the non-makeup period and the final stretch for these promotional 45s. So first up, the album Lick It Up. There's a song called Lick It Up on the album, as I'm sure you're aware. That was released as a single, and here is the promotional copy. So now we have a Black Mercury label. On the left-hand side, it says promotional copy not for sale, and there's a number 26. And then this is the same as this. So record companies were all about doing things on the cheap. So if they could get away with pressing the same thing on both sides and not having to send out another copy later, they was good with that. Alright, next up is All Hell's Breaking Loose. Again, there's that Black Mercury label. On the left-hand side, it says promotional copy not for sale, and then you've got a number 26. And I have seen some of these come in. I've seen them listed on eBay or something, and they would be in a blue Mercury Company sleeve. I don't feel that that's correct. That sleeve ended, before Lick It Up was released, because it's got a different address than what the label has at the bottom. But I'll see singles going all the way up to, Crazy Nights that have that sleeve with it. So I'm not 100% convinced that that blue Mercury sleeve is correct. So, all right, next album is Animalize. And the first single we got on Animalize is Heaven's on Fire. So there you can see on the left-hand side it says promotional copy not for sale, and then there's a number 22 at the bottom of that. Same thing on both sides. And then we have Thrills in the Night, released as a single. So there it says promotional copy not for sale. You got a number 22 at the bottom. You'll notice that the Thrills in the Night, the title, it says Thrills in the Night edit. So if you remember back to the when I did the promotional LPs, I also did the 12-inch singles too. And on the 12-inch single promotional for Thrills in the Night, there was a LP version and an edit version. This is that edit version for 45. The 45 has the same on both sides. They're both edits. So, all right, next up is Asylum. I actually have a picture sleeve with this one. There was only one single from Asylum in the U.S., and that was Tears Are Falling. And there it is. Now if you notice up in the upper left-hand side, you'll see it says promotional copy not for sale. And then at the bottom of that, you'll have a 016. And it's the same on both sides. And now, while I'm putting this up, I'm going to put an image up that a friend of mine named Tom Daniels turned me on to. His copy, if you look at the text there at the bottom, his copy has yellow text as opposed to my white text. So that's a something I'll not looking like super hard for it, but if I come across it, I will get it. So next up is the Crazy Nights album, and again I have a picture sleeve. So this is the song Crazy Crazy Nights. And off to the left it says promotional copy not for sale, and then down at the bottom of that you have a number 49. Same thing on both sides. So yeah, once they went to this same thing on both sides format, kind of less for me to talk about. So, all right, Reason to Live. Again, got the picture sleeve. And off to the left-hand side, you see it says promotional copy not for sale. And at the bottom of that, you got a number 49. And the final single from Crazy Nights, Turn On the Night, my favorite song off of Crazy Nights. That one and Thrills in the Night kind of battle for my favorite song from the no makeup era, but this was also the last title that I needed as a promotional copy, which my buddy Tom Daniels fixed me up with. So there you go with the Mercury label. It says promotional copy not for sale on the left. And down at the bottom of that you see an 016 and the picture sleeve, of course. Matter of fact, when I first got into 45's, Tom Daniels fixed me up with quite a little pile of them to get me started, so he's helped me out quite a bit along the way. Alright, let's put the X in sex. Mine has a white sleeve. I don't have a picture sleeve for it, so. Alright, so off to the left-hand side, it says promotional copy not for sale. And there's a number 49. And this one has the same on both sides. However, there is a rare X and Sex promo 45 that kind of mirrors the 12-inch single with the remixes. So you can see it says promotional copy not for sale. And then there's an 016 over there on the left. And you see this one says, let's put the X and Sex, the hot urban mix. and the hot rock mix. So yeah, this 45 is not easy to find, and the hot rock mix, the only place I've ever seen it has been on this 45. So we get to that point, and there are no promotional 45s in the U.S. for Hot in the Shade. So hide your heart and forever, there's not one with a promotional label. So we skip ahead, we get to the Kiss My Ass era, and the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones recorded Detroit Rock City for that compilation. It also got released as a single, and the flip side of it is Kiss's version of Detroit Rock City. So for promotional copy, there's a green metallic stamp there over the barcode, says promotional copy not for sale. And then there is it's on green vinyl, so one side is the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, the other side is Kiss, and this label is not a promotional label. So literally the only difference between this promotional copy and a retail copy is that green stamp there. And with that brings us to the end of promotional 45s. Or so we thought. So in my haste in gathering all this shit, I left one out. So I'm going to George Lucas some shit in here. So I missed the Rock and Roll All Night 45. This was released around 93. I'm guessing around the Dazed and Confused era. I could be wrong. But anyway, it comes in. Ah, shit, I already took the 45 out. Alright. See if I can't pull this off here. Okay. So it comes in a plain white sleeve, and it has "It's the Music Stupid" stamped on it. Alright. And then it's a white label 45. And it has the version from Alive on it. And then the back side is just a blank label. Nothing on it. Nothing on the record. You can see it's nice and smooth. So yeah, Mike missed one. So yeah, I'm going to throw this in and back to your regular scheduled program and such. So it is a fun little set to collect. Some of it can be a hard set to collect. There's a couple of them that are really tough to get, and as I've always said, I've just been extremely lucky with finding some of this stuff, but with that luck also comes a little bit of skill, because I have learned what to look for and where to look for it, and I've learned to be quick about it. So, spotting an eBay auction, if you know where that promo text is, that picture might be a little blurry, but you can kind of see there's some text where there isn't normally text on a retail copy. You buy that real quick. So that's kind of how I've managed to gather up all my hard to find stuff over the years, was just being quick on the draw and kind of knowing and comprehending what I'm looking for and looking at. So anyway, I appreciate you hanging in here with me on this one, and yeah, I'll see you the next time around.